All right, what's happening, man? We live at Spalding High with the new head coach, Coach Nick Davis. He live on the set. Hey, what's going on, Coach?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing, man?
I'm good, just trying to get settled, man.
Getting settled, man. Coach, fresh out of practice. We want to thank him for taking time out of this busy day to sit with us and do this podcast. This is the second one, Shivers Podcast. Got a couple of questions for you, Coach. We know you're from the Griffin area, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you would, just go in detail about your playing days, where you played at, college-wise, some of the things you did in high school.
Okay. Our product, Griffin High.
Mm-hmm.
We only had one high school at that time, 1990 graduate. Played linebacker, coming out at middle. Well, we didn't have middle school, we had junior high.
Okay.
So ninth grade was at one school, then, the high school was 10 through 12. So at the 8th grade, I begged the coaches to let me try out. They laughed at me because I was short, chubby kid.
Man.
But once we got on the field and put the pads on, we started popping a little bit. They changed their mind quick. So I was very fortunate to be able to play as a true freshman. I played behind Darryl Hicks, who was an outstanding linebacker, but I did get some playing time as a ninth grader. Started my 10th, 11th, 12th grade year, was team captain my junior, senior year. Once a defensive MVP my senior year. Earned a full scholarship to Georgia Southern University.
Okay.
Well, I was fortunate to play as a freshman, true freshman there, win a national championship. Was considered All-American my senior year, All-Conference player my senior year. Then I got into coaching. After playing, I tried out Canada with Edmonton Eskimos and the Argonauts.
Okay.
Argonauts, and they flew me up, invited me up to a workout in Virginia. They were having the winter worked out, and they were impressed. Told me I have a contract by Monday.
Okay.
I had an agent in Macon. Contract never showed up. Monday never came.
Oh, man.
It was a 6'4" linebacker. I get it. He older guy, got cut by San Diego Chargers. Believe it or not, Sunday.
Wow.
And they picked him up instead of signing me.
The next day.
Then I just got into coaching, man. And one of my best friend, good friend, great player, Charlie Clemens, who played linebacker with me, he was with the Rams at the time, and he was like, man, come on, man, I think I can get you a tryout. And I'm like, listen, I'm done. I ain't sitting at home waiting by the phone for a phone call. So I jumped into coaching. All my college coaches encouraged me to start coaching because of being a signal caller, play caller on the field at Georgia Southern during that time. So I GA'd a year at Georgia Southern with the linebackers and signal plays in, and then I had several high school coaches reach out the following year after I finished up my schoolwork about joining the high school ranks of coaching. And once they gave me a contract, I thought that was a lot of money. At that time, I thought I was rich until I got married and my wife brought her bills along with mine. I realized it wasn't anything. So that's how I ended up getting into high school ball.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what year is this for you?
This year 28. I'm finishing
28.
I'm finishing up year 28. Got 2 more years before I can retire. But man, I got my health good and everything. I enjoy what I do, so I'm gonna go till I can go, man, as long as I can.
That's good, Coach. So I know you was at Fayetteville last year, Fayette County, with the Tigers, and this is your second stint with Spalding Jaguars, right? Right. So how you settling in now? This is your second time around.
It was, me and the guys had to get to know each other a little bit, but they knew of me, because they've been at my camps. When I was here the first time, some of them was at the youth camps and stuff like that, and knowing through family members and things of that nature. But we just had to get out on the field, man. And like I told them, and I shared with you, I'm not coming here trying to do a wholesale change. There's no need. Right. All right. I'm just here to oversee things and make suggestions to the staff. Hey, let's think about doing this way. Right. You know what I'm saying? Players. All right, hey, if you really want to be that dog, you want to go to the next level, we got to do this more. We got to do this better. So those are the little things, man, that I'm trying to bring to the table, not only for the players but the staff as well, and help them grow, because I met with those guys individually, wanted to know what their short-term, long-term goals were for themselves personally in their career. And, a lot of them want to move up, be coordinator, head coaches and stuff like that. That's why I'm here. I want to help them develop to get to that point.
Because you got a lot of knowledge, wisdom going into year 28, so that's good that you want to develop your coaches and help them get to where they want to go. Yeah. So let me ask you this, Coach. What brought you back to Spalding?
Well, be honest, I'm being very transparent, man. I've been blessed. Out of 28 years, I've been a head coach in the state of Georgia, 24 of those 28. That's a long time being in charge of everybody. And that's why I tell coaches, all the coaches, young coach, I want my own program. I said, now be careful what you ask for.
That's right. That's right.
As a head coach, your phone never ring. When no coaches practice over league, they go home. They don't have to worry about stuff till the next day.
That's true.
And not only are you in charge of the kids, you got to deal with the kids and their parents. You got to deal with the coaches and their family, because a lot of times they're going to come to you, Coach, I got this going at home.
Yeah.
So you got to deal with them. And then you got the faculty and staff. And then the regular ed kids in the building as well, because we're trying to create opportunities for everybody. So it's a lot that goes into being a head coach. And one thing I share with them, you pour into a lot of people, but you got to be mindful that you don't empty the tank.
That's true.
And you got to find somebody who can pour into you. My circle is small. And a lot of the guys I talk to on a daily basis, 3 or 4 guys, they've been head coach of the state of Georgia.
Okay.
One's in college, the other 3 are head coaches here in the state. So they're married with kids. We have a lot of similarities because I can't talk to you about things I'm going through and you haven't experienced.
That's right.
Or you're not going through. I can't talk to a single man and tell him about my marital issues. That don't make sense. What kind of advice are you going to give him?
Coach.
So I can't talk to an assistant coach when I got head coaching issues, because he's not a head coach. He's not in that seat. He doesn't have that experience. So I surround myself by like-minded people, people that I know going to give me good advice and good suggestions, and I take it and marinate on it, and if it works, I implement it, and if it don't, I do not.
That makes sense, Coach. So you pretty much want to come back, because I know you're from this community.
Right.
You want to be a role model for the coaches, like you said. You want to put them in position, because you already knew these coaches before you got here.
Right.
And you also want to make sure you're helping these kids.
Well, we know why I'm here.
Yeah.
Devastated when I got the news. First thing I thought about the shock, once I got over the shock, first thing I thought about were these kids. And I tell people all the time, and we know this because being from Griffin on Griffin now.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about it.
I thought about that, those kids, because one mistake and they hit these streets, is over with.
Yeah.
And I'm an experienced guy where I know what football did for me, being in a single parent home. Not that I was a troubled kid, nothing like that, but being in a single parent home, my dad died early. This weight room, that's football, I poured into that, gave my energy to it. And because of the hard work I put into it, I was rewarded.
Right.
I tell people always, football it's like a girl. You treat her right, she gonna treat you right.
They're right.
She gonna treat you right. Now you cheat her, she gonna cheat you. It is what it is. So you're gonna get out of what you put in it. So I know what it did for me. And like I said, when I told him come here, I'm not a win at all cost coach. I'd rather lose and teach a life lesson where a kid that may save a kid life or help him learn. And I'll tell him an opportunity later where he come back and say, Coach, man, I didn't see it then.
Yeah,
I see it now.
That's true.
So we're trying to do that. But after getting back to the question, answer the question, after the shock of the news, first thing I thought about the kids. Second thing with these coaches,
right?
Because if a new coach come in most situations from the outside, they're going to bring their own people in.
There you go, Coach.
And I got guys, Coach Rodney played for me. Quay and them, I coached against them and stuff. And these guys has done a tremendous job.
There you go.
Along with the previous coach and previous staff with Coach Kearney. So I wanted to come in and be a vessel to them. Everybody kept their job who wanted to be here. All right, and we'll move on from there and try to help them develop.
There you go.
And if down the road things don't work out, it don't work out.
There you go.
But
Coach.
That's just part of the business. You know what I'm saying? But those two things was a factor, man. Because in November after the season over in Fayette County, I resigned.
Yep.
I resigned as the head coach. Didn't have a job. Didn't nothing. I was stepping out on faith. My wife was cool with it. We prayed about it. But I just had hit that wall, man. And I being a head coach in a struggling program and how hard we have to go, and you just can't see yourself chipping away at it. It was very difficult because I love working there. The people treated me really well, but I had to take care of myself. You know what I'm saying? Once you start, dealing with issues, health stuff, and stressed out stuff like that ain't good for nobody.
That's right.
And I was actually I said, I got 2 years before I can retire. I'll just go help somebody that, got a young staff. And that was the case, man. If I was going to go to Jackson, and fortunately that didn't work out. And then I was going to Lovejoy. And then when got the call about would I be interested in coming home, I couldn't say no, man.
Right.
I couldn't say no because I knew these kids needed somebody that they a lot of them really don't know me, but they know of me.
Yeah.
And a lot of the kids that played for me can sign off on it, and then set for the coaching staff as well. So it sparked some energy in me, got me excited a little bit.
Yeah.
Then be able to come back and finish up at home, that's awesome.
Oh man, that's awesome, Coach. Well, you started it, man.
Yeah.
So, Coach, what are you most excited for about this season?
It's going to be difficult, but I'm excited about the kids don't know nobody know about.
Okay.
If that makes sense. It's easy to coach D1 kids.
That's true.
I love when we walk out there on the field and they look at our kids and laugh, but they don't know that blue-collar kid. Right. That kid that ain't worried about no stars. He ain't worried about no offer. He just loved the game of football. Yeah. He just loved playing football. And, we graduated a really good class, with a lot of experience walking out this door. So it's going to be new opportunities for some kids to step up. And we're going to need them to step in. They're going to be tough. It ain't going to be easy. Our leaders that are returning, it's going to be different from them. We got Keyman and those guys and AJ and all them guys, Sully, them guys. For so long, Ty Quay and 40K, all them been by your side. But now you look around, you out here with all these fresh faces. Woo. So now you got to be that alpha dog. Yeah. So that's what I'm really intrigued about, seeing what our leadership is going to look like. And I met with the seniors on Wednesday, and I told them after practice, I said, listen, 12-1, walking out the door, that's gone. Yeah. That's their legacy.
Talk about it.
What y'all legacy going to be? Right. You know what I'm saying? You can't ride on what they did. They own that. They walking out the door 12-1. So what are we going to do? How are y'all going to be?
Got to keep it going.
You got to keep it going. You know what I'm saying? So that's the stuff I'm trying to plant in their minds and their ears and leadership. And then we're encouraging them young guys. And we got some guys that ain't ready. Yeah. We force feeding. It is what it is. They got to get ready. Yeah. So that's why I'm excited to see next Thursday how they're going to respond out on the field for the first time with new leadership. Right. Inexperienced guys beside them going to battle with the coaches off the field. So, and then once we get the film and we see where we are, if we do good with it, if we struggling with communicating and leading on the field, now I know how to attack that.
Build on something.
We build on that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm looking for, to see how our players are going to respond when it's just them out there on the field.
So, Coach, I had an opportunity to visit two of your practices. Mm-hmm. So I see Georgia State walking through this door today, right? Mm-hmm. So I know you said you got a lot of D1 players, but the hidden talent, what you're building and the culture here at Spalding High is pretty big to get D1 coaches coming down. Like I said, I just seen the Georgia State coach. I'm pretty sure you probably had more to practice. Yeah. That speaks volumes to what the culture that you guys have built over the last 2 to 3 years, what you're going to continue to add to the culture. Right.
Well, I can't take the credit for that. First of all, they got to have talent. Yeah. Well, first of all, they got to have measurables, size, the speed, the athletic ability. The academics come next, then the character. Those are 3 traits you got to have. Yeah. All right? The 4th trait comes later when the parents get involved. Because you got bad parents, they'll kill you now.
So, talk about that, Coach.
Yeah, they'll kill you. They don't realize it, but I spoke about it at our parent meeting last week. Those guys are easy. So you don't have to work for them. My thing is, the task at hand for controlling those guys is staying focused on Spalding.
Right.
Because no matter who you committed to, you ain't there yet.
Yes.
You still Spalding. We're going to do things the Spalding way. And my job is to help those guys get ready for what they get ready to face on the next level. Because most of your D1 guys, when they practice, they can really coach and go through the motion because they're that much better than the kids they're playing against.
That's true.
But when you get ready to go to that next level, everybody can do the same thing you do. And somebody's going to be able to do it better. How can you handle that? Yeah. The 8 years I was here previous, we had 41 kids sign scholarships. Wow. We only had 1 kid to come home. So that's what I pride myself on. When we send kids off, I want you mentally and physically prepared that you can handle all adversity and don't bring your butt back to Griffin until you get that degree.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? So that's where we're trying to go with those guys. And then I'm a firm believer, it's a little difficult with the transfer portal because, they're not recruiting high school kids like that. Yeah. But I believe there's a place for everybody if you want to play ball. I ain't saying you're going to get a full scholarship. I ain't saying you're going to be close to home, because if you're not a Power 5 kid and you don't have the measurables, go get you Burlington, get you that bum of coke, because you got to go up north where the talent is not as plentiful. Yeah. And there's opportunities there if you still want to play ball. So that's the outlet we look for and what we try to preach to our kids and just getting them ready, man, because one thing I never want to see one of my kids or our kids with a lot of opportunity, talent, ability, and then they go off and can't handle it. Yeah. I take that person. That's on me because I haven't prepared you for that.
That's right, Coach. I'm glad you went in detail about the recruiting process and what it takes for someone to get an offer.
Right.
Because I think sometimes it's misconstrued that's the coach's fault the kids don't get offers.
Right.
So I'm glad you went in great detail about that.
That's reality. Everybody want to blame somebody. Don't nobody ever want to look at. People don't want to accept what it is.
Right.
We want to put the blame on somebody else so we can feel better about ourselves.
Yeah.
That's not the case. I'm always going to tell the truth. I'm always going to be honest. You know, you said we had Georgia State out the other day. We had Coach Carolina. Trey Scott from Georgia came through this morning. So we've had a lot of guys, you know, that's the testament to Coach Kerner and the previous staff for the work they don't put in this room with developing these kids. Now, my job is continue that and then try to get it even more to the next level. But, you know, people just don't understand how recruiting works.
Talk about it, Coach.
So I try to have meetings, yearly meetings, where I give them that GPA academic stuff. I hadn't been able to do that because I'm just getting here.
Right.
Normally those meetings take place in March, right before recruiters come out in April, end of April. And the recruiting game done changed. Like I told the young guys, don't get mad now, because I told myself when these recruiters come in, I'm showing them 2025 guys, seniors, because I need y'all to understand why. Recruiters can't talk to underclassmen. They can only talk to upcoming seniors this spring recruiting cycle.
Explaining, Coach.
They can only come to your school one time now. Last year they could come multiple times.
Okay.
The rule has changed. So you have to do a good job as a coach educating your players, educating your parents, because you know how it is.
Yeah.
If you out there taking pictures, and you take a picture of Georgia State coach out there, and Georgia State coach, he out filming AJ today at practice. Now to go home, coach didn't even show him me.
That's
he didn't
right.
even tell him about me. Now the parent mad. They don't went on social media. He only favoring certain kids, not knowing the rule.
There you go, Coach.
So you got to educate the parents, because I get it. Social media is great, but it's awful at the same time.
There you go.
You know, because
create division.
It created division. You know, division on not only just on your team, but period. That's why you see so many kids transferring out, because they can't comparing themselves to other people.
Yeah.
And I tell our kids all the time, work like you're scared.
There you go. Like you might lose your job.
Yeah, you like lose your job because we have tunnel vision.
Yeah.
We just seeing what I'm doing at Spalding. But what about that kid in Florida? What about that kid in Alabama? Are you out working those kids?
Right.
You know, that's what you have to answer. So if you don't know, I got to assume that kid is working.
There's so many offers they can give out, right?
Right. Yeah. Right. So, and you know, like I said, the transfer portal, the most D1 schools, when you look at them, now Georgia, those people, they can recruit high school kids a little bit more because they so heavy. But when you start talking about your Group 5, Division II people, they pulling out the portal.
Yeah.
You know, they pulling out the portal, so they getting ready-made players. Those coaches got to win now, so they don't have time to develop guys. If you look at Georgia, me and Coach Scott were talking, you look at C.J. Allen, CJ was a day one plug-and-play guy.
Yeah, he was.
So they know they got this year coming and next year. He gone.
Yeah.
He going to the NFL, first-round draft pick.
Absolutely.
So you got to have somebody ready to go. So they're signing Power 5 kids who physically are ready to compete at that level in the SEC because they know the players they have going to be limited. They don't have a limited time with them.
There you go.
Whereas a Division II coach, if I'm at a Division II school and we're struggling, and that man done told me, hey, your job on the line. You think I'm going to sign a high school kid? No, I'm going to go get that graduate assistant at Georgia, Clemson, Mississippi State that ain't going to touch the field. But he's okay for us.
Because he's been in the program.
He's been in the program. He's physically mature. He's mentally mature. He's socially mature. He done been away from home.
Yeah.
These are all three things a high school kid got to get adjusted to.
Right.
So if I got to win now, I ain't got time to develop you.
Yeah.
I got to go get me some.
That's
you know what I'm
right.
saying? Bring them in and plug and play and keep moving. So that's the thing, the conversation we got to keep having with our parents and our players so they understand and don't get frustrated.
Yeah.
You know, with the process. But you know, our guys are getting, who we have here, getting a lot of action, a lot of traction.
Yeah.
And one thing I told the parents, I tell the players, don't hate on that guy.
Yeah.
If AJ can bring some recruits in, that works in your favor.
There you go.
Everybody get to eat now. You see what I'm saying? So because you may not be able to play for them, but he may have a buddy at another school. Listen, man, I like this kid. He's a little undersized for her, but you need to get on Spalding and check this boy. He can play for y'all. Yeah. So everybody get a chance to eat. Yes. He just bringing the food to the table. Don't get mad at him because he buying the groceries. You see what I'm saying?
There you go.
So you have to look at it from that standpoint. And then the next thing is, okay, if they've seen his film, his jersey say Spalding, right?
Right.
Your jersey say Spalding.
Right.
You on the same film.
There you go.
I got to look at the man in the mirror now.
It all comes back to the man in the mirror.
That's right.
Everything you said comes back to the man in the mirror.
Yep.
So that's good, Coach. Thank you for that insight. The schedule. You got a tough schedule this upcoming year.
Yep.
I know you already looked at the schedule, being the coach you already are. Can you go into detail about the schedule and what region y'all will be in this year?
Well, I know we're going to be 3A.
Okay.
It was the region I was in last year, pretty much, and then they added Spalding, Upson, Mayor, Person. It's a tough region. It's SEC West. Okay. Then the two non-region games we have is Central Carrollton and Lovejoy, which are tough teams. And, you know, Coach was not necessarily he was going to look for those games, but what happens is when you have the success the last 2 years he's had, it's hard to find games locally normal, like people like Jackson, Lamont County, they're not going to play. You know, where you can draw a big crowd and people going to be excited about it. When you have success, you're going to end up playing playoff teams. So we got Central Carrollton. We scrimmaged last year in the preseason. They got a lot returning. They went to the quarterfinals just like we did. Lovejoy, the 6A school, went to second round, and they got a lot back. Then we get into our region. You look at it in our region, I want to say Upson, I want to say they made the playoffs. You look at Upson, LaGrange, True, Trinity, Sandy Creek.
Ooh, that's tough. That's tough.
You know, who else? I'm just talking about the teams that made the playoffs last year. Mayor Persons. So we got a tough schedule. It's the SEC West.
Yeah,
you know, we probably have the toughest region, top to bottom in the state. And, you know, outside, probably in every classification.
I can see it.
You know, every Friday night we got to strap it on. So, you know, I told people, don't come in expecting. Now, I hope we can get to that point. We putting up winning by 40.
Yeah.
Don't come to Memorial Stadium thinking that now, because it ain't sweet at all.
No, sir.
No, and that's what I told the kid. Y'all understand? Hey, ain't no JV action. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's going to be varsity 4 quarters, 48 minutes every Friday night. But I'm excited about the challenge with these kids. You know, we can play with them, with the teams and beat them. We got the talent. Let me say that.
Yeah, there you go.
The mental fortitude.
Yeah.
That's what's got where we got to mature to that, because the adversity going to hit. Are we going to start complaining, bickering, and biting, fussing, and fighting? Or we going to man up, bring this thing back together and fight through it and get these wins? And like I told those kids, I said, man, we'll never lose a game. We may get beat.
Yeah.
They got to be better than us that night. We got to control what we control by not losing games, turnovers, crazy penalties, things of that nature. They got to come in here and physically just be better than us that Friday night.
Right. Okay.
But it's a tough schedule, man. And like I said, you look at the schools, Fayette is in there, Whitewater, like I said, Mayor. And the last 4 games I'll stretch, you know, you sitting there with Sandy Creek, Mayor Persons, Whitewater, and Troop. Last 4 weeks of the season. So we got a gauntlet right there now. So it's a stretch, and we ain't got no break in between. Cause off weekends before we start region play. Then we got Upson, Trinity, Sandy, and I think they're in Fayette County. But them last 4, you know, that's why we got to get. So I was telling the coaches, we got to spend the spring getting some guys ready who really ain't ready to play for us, because they got to be ready to go Friday night in case some injuries pop up, things of that nature.
Especially that late in the season.
That late in the season, yeah.
Yeah, and those are your most important games.
Correct. You got to have those. And, you know, one thing that changed, even though whatever may happen, regardless of the region, the top 4 don't go anymore to the playoffs. So, you know, they doing a 3A on down, they pull the private schools out. So no matter what Trinity does, they won't go in the public playoffs. So it'll go by ranking, by strength of schedule, stuff like that, who you play. So that'll work in our favor.
Yes, sir, because y'all got us.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we really need to have 6 or 7 teams out of our region in the playoff.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that'll happen, but if at least our top 5 ought to be in there. You know what I'm saying? By strength of schedule alone. You know? So we'll see how that plays out. But like I said, I think our kids will be up to the challenge. Like I told them, I said, man, we got to get ready. It ain't going to be sweet early. I hope it is. But you got to go in the mindset with the staff. We can't leave no stone unturned. You know, we got to go to work, and we got to make sure we're doing the little things right.
That's right, Coach.
Yeah.
I know when you talk about your coaches, we say you talk to your coach. I know you mentioned Coach Jackson and Quay. Can you go into detail about some of the coaches on your staff?
Yeah, we pretty much the same staff, man. On offense, got Quay, Coach Williams on the offensive line, Quay Hand, coaches the offensive line with Coach Williams, DeAndre Williams, and Coach Cedric Miller.
Okay.
Coach Hoffman is our offense coordinator. Okay. He works with quarterbacks and backs. We have Coach Williams that was here last year. Donald Williams going to work with the running backs. And then at receiver, we have Coach Ty Turner, Coach Finley working with them, and then Coach Sims still working with our quarterbacks as well. So everybody on that side of the ball, except the running back coach is back. Then on defense, on D-line, we got Coach Chip, who was here last year, Coach Jackson. Brought in Cam. Coach Barrow fully retired this year, this time. Kenny Barrow, spending time with his grandpa.
Coach?
And so I brought in Cam Weems, who played for me here as well. He's working with the inside backer. Noah Clowers, who played Griffin and played at point. He's working with outside backers where he was last year. And then Coach Jackson, our DC, Rodney, is working on the back end. Then today, Coach Eric Tugger, he's going to come back and help out Coach Jackson on that side of the ball as well.
Okay, that's awesome, Coach. You got a great coaching staff. So we got to talk about it. I talked to Coach Fed, head coach over there at Griffin. He mentioned in the podcast previous that you guys had a chance to have a conversation. How did that go?
It went good, man. Me and Fed we've been knowing each other. He was at Dutchtown, and he was down at Brooks County with my guy Maurice Freeman, Coach Freeman, who's now at Daleville in Alabama, making all that money double dipping. He retired in Georgia.
They're right.
I've been knowing him since then. And then he started coaching at Dutchtown. Our relationship got a little bit tighter, and then GAC, he's a lot involved in GAC, so we be at clinics and stuff like that. And we always had great conversation. I have a lot of respect for him. He worked extremely hard, very disciplined guy. But when it first happened, he called me, congratulated me, jokingly at that time. I got to leave Griffin now and all that stuff. But we cool. We have a great relationship, and that's gonna get tested. Like I told him, I said, you got to understand. As soon as I come back, it's going to still be the Griffin Spalding stuff. I said, I ain't got time for all that. I'm coming home to take care of these kids.
There you go, Coach.
So that's the bottom line, man. And, I know everybody got in an uproar about him saying the school overtown, in which he had. And I told him, with me coming back, you know me, you know how I rock and how I do things.
Yeah.
We got to cut that out.
They right.
We about these kids. We ain't got time to be dealing with these grown folk going back and forth about Griffin Spalding. Because at the end of the day, you look at it, we're not even playing now.
Yeah.
Because of that. And that's a disservice to the kids. It's a disservice to this community.
Right.
Because of people who not even involved. These kids see each other, go to the same proms with each other, so we're trying to create something that don't need to be created. It can be 1 week out the year that we cannot speak, but compete against each other, then support each other from that point forward. But no, me and Coach Fed, we cool, man. I know that, I used to tell Coach Kern all the time when he used to call me crying, man, you ain't went through nothing. You should have been here when I was here, and when I crossed them railroad tracks, all the hell I caught. So I used to laugh at him all the time. Stop calling me with that little mess, man, going back and forth with the Griffin Spalding stuff, man. I wish them the best. I wish Coach the best. Like I said, we're going to work over here. Yeah. I'm concerned with Spalding High, Spalding Jaguars, Spalding football. I support any kid in the community, but this is where I work at. This is where we're gonna get that butter, that GTB.
What you say,
GTB, that's my little thing. Everything you see I have, GTB. And I'm going to break that down so people know it. And I told the kids, it means get that butter. I tell them, you got to get the butter from what? Duck. That's a farmer. Farmer gets up real early in the morning, come out the field late at night. So that means we got to outwork everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, the second thing, we got to get them books, GTB. Yeah. Academic, can't go nowhere without them books. So if you do those first two things, then we can get that bag. As a high school kid, getting that bag, you get a scholarship, right?
Right.
Then when you graduate, guess what? You start that cycle back over when you go to college.
Yeah.
Get that, but I work everybody there. All right, get that degree.
Yep.
Then you may get a shot to do what? Get an NFL contract, D-off, you getting that bag. So it's all about a little thing we like to say, man, to keep them guys going, to keep them focused. And I just say, hey, GTB, you'll see it in the back of our shirt next week at the game. You'll see a little blue GTB on the back of the neck.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, we're going to get it.
That's good. So you say you went through some of the things over there at Griffin, some of the things that it's no secret the current went through. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you this. You think it'll ever be a situation where you guys can, like you said, be casual to the extent where you guys maybe can get back to playing each other, even like scrimmages or something like that?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I want that. The kids need that. The community need that. But we got to be able to do it in a way that's respectful for all the parties involved. You know what I'm saying? I think it's good for the community. Like I said, financially, it supports both schools. And that's what people don't understand. Us not playing, that's a lot of money being lost for these programs. And people gonna see that on this back end of the season. Because you talking about, let's tell what it is. Football pretty much pays for everything. Okay. That one game take care of mostly all the officials, all the other sports. So without game not there, where the money gonna come from?
Yeah.
So now, you got to think about that aspect. But hopefully after this cycle, 2-year cycle, we can get back to at least doing a scrimmage or something. Kids will be excited about it. And long as the adults can handle it, it'll be real beneficial. I would love to see that happen. I shared that with the superintendent when I spoke with him. But I get it. I understand, the situation of safety, things of that nature. But we got to get to the point of being adults and not feeding into this Griffin versus Spalding. And I think the thing I told the staff before I left, the thing that helped now, see, when I went through it, there was no kids or parents who graduated from Spalding that had high school kids.
Okay.
So now some of my parents, they graduated from Spalding. They played at Spalding.
Right.
So the tradition is for their kids to come here.
Yeah.
When I first came here, everybody, including myself,
with the Griffin.
Hey, Griffin. So that's where the struggle was. Man, why you going Crawl Town over there? Well, ain't no job at Griffin High. The job is at Spalding.
Because everybody over there.
Oh, we still, Spalding is still in Griffin.
Yeah.
So we still taking care of people. And I'll never forget when I first got here in 2011, I went and spoke at several churches. And I remember, I can't remember if it was Pastor Duff or Pastor Lucas. And I was very blunt in the church when I spoke to him. I said, all us graduated from Griffin High. We Bears.
Yeah.
Fairmount Bears or Griffin Bears.
Right. Speak on
tradition. I said, but y'all done forgot about all the kids on the east side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y'all look at the kids that come from the golf course community, play tennis, golf here and all that, and just say, okay, them kids straight over there, because they over there with the folks got money. They ain't got money. They need to be fed pregame meal too. It just look like that. But what I'm saying is, and really, to be honest, we have forgot about, the city have forgot about our black kids on the east side of town.
Yeah.
And I was very blunt about that when I first came. And it opened some people's eyes. They were like, Coach, you right. And they start opening some doors. And, and then that's when all the Griffin Spalding stuff kind of started happening. But I'm like, how can you get upset with me, who's bare built, coming across town, doing what y'all taught me to do? Now you upset?
Yeah.
And you don't really know me, but they know me, Coach Nasty. I don't back down for nobody now.
Oh, yeah.
So that was the issue. And, so once we had to address that, man, it just, it got out of hand for a minute, but it got back right. And hopefully we can continue to heal that wound so we can get back to doing what we need to do. Yeah. Playing these games against each other, having a good rivalry.
Good rivalry.
You know what I'm saying? In every sport, because it's needed.
Right. So let me ask you this, Coach. I know Coach Kearney. You was one of his mentors throughout his coaching tenure and your coaching. I know he relied to you. For the people that don't know, Coach Kearney is my brother-in-law. Mm-hmm. Have you had a chance to spoke?
We've spoken several times.
Okay.
And the first time I missed his call, and the first 2 times I missed because I didn't recognize. I didn't know what it was. When I finally got him, he's like, man, dang, man. I said, man, I thought you was a telemarketer or something. But, he was in good spirits. I was glad to hear that. And, we talked a little bit once it was announced, me coming here, and he said, bro, I'm just happy as you. And I said, I got you. And, for the players and parents, first thing he said, I said, man, talk to me, what I'm looking at, what I need. And he gave me a little insight. Then the last time I said, what you need from me? He said, all I need you to do is take care of my boy.
Wow. That's good, Coach. That's good, man. So, Coach, what motivates you as a coach? You're 28.
It's still the same. It's still the same, man. Taking care of kids. Like I say, understanding, it ain't just about football. Ain't scoring a touchdown. It ain't about just tackling, but understanding how to become a man through a sport. Getting kids to see something different. Because, a lot of people say, especially our black athletes, use sport just to make money and all that. It ain't about it. It's the life lessons they're gonna learn on this field. I can't speak on nobody else's field. But the life lessons. When I first got a kid walking on the field, I'm like kind of butthole about it, and they don't understand why. So I got to tell them. It's those little things. Yeah. When you walking in an interview,
talk to the coach.
Learn how to smile. Don't walk in there. They think you're an angry black man or a country white boy anyway.
The
So those little things, your energy, your body language.
Yeah.
Don't want you can't want something for nothing. If you go to work every day and you get pissed off because you don't get the promotion, you got to go back and look at yourself in the mirror. Why didn't I get the promotion? Same thing we tell them on the field. I'm gonna put the best 11 out there.
Yeah.
I want to win.
You want to win.
I like you, but you ain't one of the 111. Yeah. So if you want to be one of the 111, guess what?
You got to step your game.
You got to step your game up. Yeah. So if you want that promotion, go back to the practice field when you hear with Coach Davis. I want my voice to be in your mind.
Yeah.
Hey man, come in with your pants up. Come in 15 minutes early. Do the little stuff, the other stuff other guys are not willing to do on the job, so you can elevate yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Be that entrepreneur. Are you willing to do those extra things, those little things that other entrepreneurs not willing to do, so you can get those big contracts and grow your business and all that stuff?
There you go.
So it's about the whole man, not just the football player. Man, you know, we want to win games, of course, but we want to win in life. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I want guys texting me when they had their kid, babies and stuff. Several of my players done came out this week. Dalton Ellis played for, come out there, coach, I just want to be around. I just want to be around you again. Showing me pictures of his son, A.J. Moses out there today. Coach, anything I can do? I said, yeah, come talk to these running backs, you know. D texted me today. Coach, what the schedule like? I'm trying to get back to come see everybody. So that's what motivates me.
Yeah.
Because I know what it did for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I've seen other guys waste those opportunities, and I don't want that for our kids. And I can only do so much. They got to meet us halfway. But it's our job. Like I told the staff, before we say a kid can't do something, you got to be able to come to me. My question I'm going to ask, have you exerted all your energy and opportunities to break this thing down to this kid? If that's a yes, okay, we got to move with somebody else. But if you ain't exerted all your effort in getting this kid better, either one or two things. You got to go back to work, I got to replace you. Bottom line. Okay, so, but yeah, what motivates me, man, getting up every day, developing kids, developing players. And like I said, I ain't talking about them D1 guys, because everybody get excited. We love to see all the college coaches come here. But I'm talking about that guy, nobody don't even know his name. But he's such a critical part to the program. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you just seeing those guys doing great things, man, later on in life, you know.
So last question, Coach. This is pretty much the final stop right here on the journey.
I don't know.
We don't know.
I want it to be.
Yeah.
But I ain't in charge of that.
There you go.
Because if you'd have told me I was going to be sitting right here right now, I'd have told you no, buddy.
Tell me about it.
But you know, you have your plan, but God have something totally different for you. Now, as far as coaching high school football and all that, is this where I want to end? Yes, of course.
Gotcha.
And I truly believe that's why I hate them here for the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
But I truly believe once that happened, God wanted me to be here, planted me here. So that's why I'm here. And I'm going to come do his will to the best of my ability. And I got Coach's word. I gave my word. I'm going to take care of these boys.
There you go, Coach. That's so good, Coach. So that pretty much wraps up the podcast for tonight. I want to give a special shout out to Coach Davis again for coming on the podcast, talking about Spalding High in the upcoming season. I also want to give a shout out to Jeremiah Coleman and Appointed Media for coming out, putting all this together. See you guys on the next podcast coming soon. Thank you for tuning in. Good night.
Go Jags, baby.
Go Jazz, baby. Jazz up.
GTB.
GTB, you heard it.